are my friends, but my last one's a doozy. I noticed actually in a movie, just before I came here tonight, I was watching a movie, and I noticed the way hipster females dress can, in some circumstances, be a lot the same as the way female prostitutes dress. In the way that they both obviously do a lot of shopping at the used clothing stores, right? They're always looking for the most flashiest, standout thing about them. They're going to try to take some old lady garment and try to add a youth spin on it. And regardless, however it looks when it's on them, it's going to clash with every single thing else that they're wearing on it at the time. The only difference I can find between the two is that one constantly spouts off about feminism without ever actually doing anything about it, and the other one, in a weird kind of way, empowers women every single day. The Prime Minister of France is trying to flex her feminist muscles at the same time. She's trying to make or criminalize underweight models. She's trying to make it illegal for skinny models to be in the public media, which, fine, it's a problem that needs to be approached, but for that to be her first problem, like of all the other problems in the world, she knows cancer still exists, right? Like, there's millions of cancer-causing products on the shelves worldwide. She should probably make cancer illegal and just criminalize that. My girlfriend got her hair extensions taken out last week. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but they're extremely expensive, and they got to sit in there for like 3 to 4 months. So I was happy when she finally got them taken out, because that means hair pulling's back on the table for me. That's always good. I don't know if you've ever tugged on a chick's $800 hair extensions, but it will kill her mood very quickly. I've never had a problem with obesity. I'm never going to make fun of obesity, but the one thing I've always had a weird question about is when obesity is referred to as an addiction to food. Because yes, it is. It is an addiction to food. You can be addicted to a lot of crazier things in this life as well. But it's the only circumstance where in a battle against an addiction, aka exercise, you will hear the words cheat day. Never in any other addictions program when you're fighting something you're addicted to are you going to hear the word cheat day. And I've run the gambit on a few addictions myself. I've had all the big boys, the cocaine, the heroin. I even fucked around with little prep school kids for a year and smoked fentanyl. And I could not imagine if after 6 days, my sober coach or my probation officer or my therapist came to me and said, "Wow, Ryan, 6 days, man. 6 days sober, good for you. I'm so fucking proud of you, man. Now here's a massive pile of heroin. You do as much of it as you want. Just make sure you're back in that methadone clinic line first thing Monday morning, mister." I definitely wouldn't be standing here today. It is hard to fucking eat healthy though. I try, but there's fucking fast food everywhere. McDonald's is my fucking big one. Something about fast food that no matter what, no matter how good you're feeling, it will always make you feel fucking horrible the second you finish it. Unless you already feel horrible. I cannot function after a day of drinking whiskey all night until I get a double cheeseburger in me. But any other time I just feel like a pile of trash. Like Pizza Hut lunch buffet. Whenever I eat that I feel like a piece of shit. Someone always claps about Pizza Hut lunch buffet. Usually it's Dakota, because his fat ass loves Pizza Hut, but he's not here tonight. I leave the Pizza Hut lunch buffet feeling the exact same way I imagine a porn star feels like when she leaves an all-anal gangbang. Really shitty. There's 3 things those things have in common. Pizza Hut, McDonald's, and whiskey. They all give me severe diarrhea. When I was a kid, my mom referred to it as the green apple splatters. I don't know, it was some cute name she gave us. I don't know, if you eat too many apples, you get the runs or something. Awesome. So I've adapted it to my adult purposes. I call it the Jack Daniel's splatters now. It's the same idea. You get it when you drink too much whiskey. It's just there's a lot more blood involved in my adult version. It doesn't go over too well. I think, like, I figure I'm a pretty good cook. I've cooked in a lot of restaurants. I've cooked at some fancy ones. I figured I knew what a romantic meal was. I've cooked a lot of meals for couples on dates and everything. So a few weeks ago, I thought I'd cook a nice romantic meal for me and my girl. So I thought, romantic food, right? Maybe like some nice red meat, some red wine, maybe get some finger foods or, you know, grilled veggies, some fondue, something sexy. So I pose a question to her, hey babe, how about a nice steak dinner? You know, we'll light some candles, get some wine, and just you and me, we'll dim the lights. She said, oh, that'd be a great idea. I would actually love that. But you know what? I don't feel like steak tonight. I know. How about a nice big ham? It's not the most romantic food I've ever fucking thought about. I mean, for one, we don't even have a dining room table, so wherever we're eating it, it's off our laps. And preferably, we're going to be as close to the bed as possible. The last thing I want when we're rolling around the sheets afterwards is to be bumping up against a big honey glaze. So she says, well, come on, babe, and be practical. We'll have food for days afterwards. Yeah, practical. It's the most romantic word I've ever heard. Romance is all about practicality. That's why we have so many butt plugs and anal beads, right, babe? Be practical. She says, okay, fine. I'll go on Pinterest then. I'll find us a nice recipe on Pinterest we can try. Great. That's what I need in my life. A Pinterest recipe. 35 of the most detailed and specific instructions I've ever fucking heard of in my entire life. After you've brought that mix from a light to a mid-simmer, gently pluck the bottom 3/8 of an inch of a leaf of basil that was carefully selected from the gardens of Narnia and place that in a fuck this, I'm making pizza pockets, man. But I don't got time for that. Don't worry though, that night we actually did have steak dinner and we totally did it after. That's all for me tonight. Thanks, folks.